Hey, what's up, everybody? Dr. B here. Hope you're doing well um, on this Monday. Today is Monday, August the 10th. Um, Been a little slow in getting some stuff going, so I apologize for that. Last week was the first week getting ready for the new semester at the university. Meetings all last week, and I got this week to kind of get things all lined up and ready, and then classes start a week from today. So on the 17th. So we'll see, trying to get things going, some more, get some more information, content, different things like that out there for you. Um, but on Mondays, like when I first started this, like wanted to put this together, this little channel, Mondays was kind of like, I looked at Mondays as like a motivation Monday. And that's kind of what the thought process was behind it. And that can go a bunch of different ways and directions with things. But today, I kind of got to thinking about a couple of different things, really. And it's what are we what are we doing for our life each day? Um, like how do you approach each day itself? You just like are you already waking up? A lot of people already wake up in the morning and they're stressed when they wake up in the morning. They think about everything they have to do for that day, and they don't take the time to really just sit back and think about what they've got, like what's in front of them. I'm guilty of it. I do that all the time too. So, how do you address it? Like, I work hard to, and my wife will tell me all the time, like, I work hard to try to not let things consume me, um, give it up, and just trust and have faith that everything's going to work out. And it typically does. May not work out on our time frame, but it typically does. But on that same notion, is like it gets hard when we're hit with different obstacles, trials, tribulations, whatever it may be that day that we're going through. Um, you know, uh, I don't always get it, but I try to get my reading in each day. I was doing the mornings for a couple of weeks, first thing in the morning before I got my day started. And now these past week and a half here, just getting ready for the semester and traveling, spend 2 hours one way driving to the university where I teach, and then back and meetings and everything. It's been kind of a little more difficult, but it gives me time to kind of reflect on things while I'm driving, even if I'm not able to like read the word directly itself. Um, but one of the things that I recently read, kind of been going through different books of the Bible, and I read some stuff in First Peter recently, and I thought I would share a couple of things that I pulled out of that. So when you look at First Peter chapter 4, um, some things it talks about, you know, Jesus gave up his life. He suffered so that we could be free and live life. Um, but at the same time, we've got to be prepared to suffer just like he did. No, not necessarily like on a crucifixion aspect. Um, but we're going to go through sufferings each and every day, no matter what that may be. It varies for all of us differently. So, what is that? How does that look? How do you address it? Um, you got to trust in Him and have faith that He's going to guide you through it and what you're doing. Um, People who do not believe in Jesus will hate on us. So we have to remember that He's the higher power. And as long as we stay focused on Him, then we're good. That's what we've got to do. It goes to the end of chapter 4, and it started saying, in verse 12, it says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed with it when his glory is revealed." So we got to stay focused on that. Like, we got to stay and know that we're going to suffer, but he's going to get us through that in all that we do. And it kind of ends with that in verse 19. "So then, those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good." So no matter what's going on, no matter what we're dealing with in that each and every day throughout our lives, we need to stay focused on what God's plan is for us. He's going to guide you through every single bit of it. I go by Dr. B because kind of what my students call me. Um, Sometimes they'll call me Dr. Bassett, but they'll call me Dr. B. Kind of make it short and it's fun. It makes it where it's more personal, interactive with my students. It kind of helps a little bit with that. So I say that all in the fact of, like, those are things that kind of motivate me, the little things like that. Um, I think about my students at the college, at the university, and what I'm doing each day to have an impact, to hopefully have a positive impact on their lives and their future careers and whatever they're going to do. So I look at that in the fact of, all right, let me make sure I'm always staying focused no matter what's going on. I need to always be on point with them, be motivated, encouraging to them in what they're doing. And that's really kind of come more to the forefront in my thinking past week and a half or so. So um, we've heard this before, or you may have heard this, maybe you haven't heard this before, but there's a poem out there that's called "The Dash," and I had heard it before, and then I lost a friend of mine recently, friend, colleague, um, in the basketball world as a basketball official. And so I had a celebration service for him, and someone read this, and it's called "The Dash." And it's really thinking about, what is your dash when you're gone? What motivates you for your dash? When you're gone, what are people going to think about between, you know, when you're born and when you pass? You're born in X year, you pass in X year, you got a dash in between the year. What's your dash? So I'm all in with this poem here that was shared that I thought was pretty cool. Gets us thinking about that, and hopefully it helps to kind of um, give you some encouragement to think about things. Maybe it's a motivation to approach things in a different way from what you may be doing now. So, all right, here we go. The dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend, who referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears, but he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? But you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real and always try to understand the way other people feel. and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? This is written by Linda Ellis, um, 1996, I believe it is. So, hope you can kind of think about that. Hope that's a little something, a little motivation for you is, how are you living your dash? How are you living each day? Are you living each day through God's word, even during the challenges? Are you focusing on Him and what you should be doing? Um, just remember that there's no task that's too big for us to accomplish as long as we know we've got Him guiding us and supporting us in all that we do. So, hope that was a little message that you found beneficial. Um, I don't. We'll get working on some more things. If there's something else that you'd like to hear about, whether it's faith wise, wellness, or fishing tip stuff, please feel free to comment, uh, like all that good stuff. Share it. Let me hear from you what you'd like to hear about. I got a club tournament coming up this weekend, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get some good content that comes out of that we can post up and give you some other fishing tips about what happens with that. So thank you everybody for taking a little time to listen in, uh, messages and so forth for this week. Hope you found it beneficial, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks.